Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Bob Walters. He's Brett Grasso. This is Locked Up Sports, and it is Saturday night. Round 5 is just in the books at the NFL draft, and Shedeur Sanders has finally been picked. Brett, you finally went.
Is he still in that room? I
off the board.
Supplies. I hope he brought supplies to the draft in Green Bay, because he was stuck in there a while.
This is one of the all-time fall drops in draft history, right?
Overhypes, maybe.
Well, we don't know yet. You don't know if he's overhyped. He might be good, right?
No, for the draft. But for where you expected him to go, you're right, fall or, expectations. Just absolutely.
You don't fall from the top 5 picks to round 5.
No. You don't get too many 5th rounders who built their own draft room inside the draft.
Is that what he did? Is that what he was at?
No, it was a whole built by them, paid by them, over $100K to build it with hats and a room and like a podcast studio, the whole thing. And the funniest part was when the Giants move up. So the Giants move up to go get their guy, right? Their guy who they went and they interviewed.
I would have taken Shedeur Sanders.
That's who that's who I think a lot of people. But he even thought it, and him and his dad, and they're all cheering. They think they're about to go in the first round late, and this is already a drop for them. They go, "Oh my God, they're already."
So the Giants for the second pick. You mean when the Giants got up to get Jackson Dart?
Second pick. Nope. And let me tell you, see you later after that, falling all the way down, all the way.
Well, once you got past the Saints and the Steelers, there's nobody who needs quarterbacks, right? Now, when you
nobody, nobody.
But when you get to the third round,
too.
But when you get to the third round, right? It's kind of like, okay, we don't need a quarterback, but let's take him anyway. That's what I would like. If I'm the Jets, I would have taken him.
Yeah, no,
right. Third round, you take him.
The Browns did that, and then they got Sanders after that. That's the funny part, is the Browns already picked up that style of quarterback, and then they picked up Sanders later. So they have 2 rookie quarterbacks. Sanders is not even the number 1 rookie quarterback in his quarterback room. He was supposed to be the number 3 pick, and you're telling me he's the number 2 in his rookie quarterback room.
Now there's everything, of course. There's everything from it's racist to it's his money to it's his father to it's he doesn't like football. It's everything. I think it's a bit of his attitude. He's an entitled kind of, which is why I think he would have been okay in New York. Because he's not gonna, he's not gonna come in here and be like, well, the lights are too bright here in New York. And listen, the problem he has is he's his father's son, right? He's just as arrogant and as much of an asshole as his father is, but he's not his father. He's not as good. He's not going to the Hall of Fame. I mean, he might, but no, he's not his father.
No, that can be dictated by anything. First of all, right now, you know what he isn't going to get? He's not going to get a 5th-year option where all of a sudden he has to wait until his 6th year to go get paid as a quarterback. He's going to actually go out and be able to prove himself in the first 2 years, and in his 3rd year, go out and make 50 or 60. If he proves it, becomes a starting quarterback. I'm talking about a bad starting quarterback in 4 years is going to be getting paid 50.
Yeah,
So let me tell you, if he makes gets into a starting position and can prove himself in any way, he'll have a contract well before if he was a first rounder. Yes, he would have gotten paid more up front. But that back money, if he proves himself, he's now on a team where he's somehow the 5th quarterback in the room. And don't even get me started on what Cleveland and that whatever happens there. Good luck with that. I can't believe
Joe Flacco's still in the league. He usually waits till week 15 to sign.
It's still an open race.
He can win it. Yeah, of course.
Spot. Joe Flacco most likely will be the starter. They have a little bit of somebody at least for them to watch, but he, like I said, he's not even, I couldn't even name, you couldn't even name who the guy who the Browns took in front of him, but he's a better quarterback in the Browns' eyes than Shedeur Sanders was.
Yeah, the reason he didn't get picked to the 5th round is there's something, I don't know if it's the play. He's better than a 5th round talent. I think what it is maybe, I think his father though too. His father's
the
now.
Attitude combined with the average, he wasn't there yet. Like, they didn't think he was that good. And then you're right. It's the attitude. It's his father.
But how could he not be that good? I mean, we all watched him, right? He was pretty good. He's not terrible. He's not like, he's an NFL quarterback. I guess he got drafted. You know what? You got to be good to get drafted.
No, right? He's good. It's just that they created something that was so much hype and it wasn't reality. And the problem is the guys making these picks aren't media guys. They are, there's certain guys who just pick it based on the name, or they want Deion coming here, or they want, all that stuff. But all of a sudden, I think the smart minds in the room are like, no, we can get better value, and he's not there.
I think that's part of the problem too, is that his father's already like last year. His father's like, I want to coach my son. Like you can't say that. You can't say that. Like now you're gonna have to deal with that. Like you're dealing, whoever take him is going to deal with Dion. Dion's going to be the parent that's like, yo, he didn't play. Why didn't he play? Why does he get playing time? Why don't you put him in? Put him in. He'll win game. You know, like you don't want to deal with that.
A coach has got to be a little nervous about that. Like all of a sudden, you could have Dion tweeting stuff and trying to cost you your job of why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you? No, not even to take over, but just to, or yeah, honestly, yes. I could do a better job. I could do a better job. And we've seen recently the random people who are media people and other people who end up in these head coaching jobs on failing franchises halfway through, just as an experiment of, we'll give you a shot. You know what? You've been chirping enough. Go for it. And I don't know if it'll be Dion or if it'll be more of a, and so I just don't think I think it's the culture. And he kept going and saying in his interviews, like, we're going to change. Like, you're going to change for me, and that doesn't work in the NFL. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you have to go prove it. You have to go become established, and you have to learn how to learn. And
a lot of these kids, what I heard, too, is that a lot of these kids coming in, now they're coming in, they were coming in dirt poor, you know, a lot of them. Now they're coming in with money, you know. Now, they're not rich, but these kids at 21 years old, if you have $4 million, you think you're set for life. Oh, you know, I'm good. And you might be. If you played it smart, you might be. But Sanders already set for life. It doesn't matter. He doesn't need to make a dollar.
Outside of his father, his own money of making money. I don't know what the real numbers are. I haven't looked.
Yeah, I don't know if they publish
deals. No, they have a lot of deals, a lot of nil deals, a lot of actual brand deals. I guarantee you he's got, and I'm talking like after taxes, like $20-30 million.
But he's also driving around Bentleys. Like, if you have, how much do you need to drive around a Bentley? How much money do you need in the bank? 10 million, 20 million?
No. To drive.
Like, if you're driving around a Bentley, you probably need 20 million for it not to be a stupid purchase, right?
25 to 50 now.
Because how much is a Bentley? How much is a Bentley? $500,000?
$500,000. Which means you need about 20 million.
I'd say, because
no. To buy it as it doesn't matter
because it's 200,000. Yeah. Well, it should be. Well, any car is a dumb purchase.
Nobody owns a 6-year-old Bentley. You go drive around a Bentley in 6 years, you have to get another one. So you got another $500,000 coming in 6 years, and you can go sell yours. You're gonna get 100 for it.
You don't think people drive around? I think people drive around 6-year-old Bentleys.
No,
remember that the car wash, the red one that was
a little bit. No, they drive them around, but in 5 years you need a new one. Like you're gonna put 200,000 miles.
Listen, if I buy a Bentley today for $500,000, next year at this time it's worth 200,000.
He's the guy with dumb and spending every dollar, and now he's not going to get it. You have to realize this contract he's going to get isn't going to be that. He's going to make less money this year than he did in college.
And he doesn't. I don't think he has 30 million of
his
own money.
Brands don't come with it. He thought he was going to New York, and he thought there was going to be endorsement deals.
No,
he thought there was going to be a parade outside.
Not for the fifth round.
None of it's coming. Like none of it. And now he's got to go prove it in the quarterback room with a whole bunch of other qualified and rookie eager quarterbacks next to him, plus another guy who's coming right off the massage table, coming right up next year, trying to come back and get his job back.
And listen, we like the great thing about it is if we're wrong, he can prove it. He's gonna get his chance, right? Like Ryan Leaf was the first pick, second pick, terrible. The Tom Brady was the 6th round. The 49ers quarterback, what's his name? Was the Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant.
So he played in
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy played in a Super Bowl. So I mean, he's gonna get a chance. He can prove us all wrong. But 5th round picks don't get endorsement deals. 5th round picks don't get sneaker deals.
He's also young. He's also like 21 years old. Like, he's also a young guy too. And
he's
got other skills.
Is he graduate? He plays 4 years? I think he did. I think he did. No,
he did not graduate.
So he had another year of eligibility. Should he have stayed?
Now, if he had the choice
year.
The problem is they probably couldn't have even stayed.
Because he hired an agent.
He wasn't going to class.
Yeah, but they fudged that.
I know he could have skirted that, but he was embarrassing them to the point of in a joke, like not even joking after being like I'd ever go to a class after this win, and like I'm going to be in the league, and there's a certain level where universities got to hold up some type of
and go look at the social media.
Standards.
Go look at the social media.
Shedeur Sanders' era is over, and that's only going to last so long in Colorado.
And go look at the social media. Go look at his social media and ask yourself, would you hire this guy? Go look at his social media and say, would you hire this guy? Because you wouldn't. Now, I'm not saying he's not.
He went through an interview with Brian Dable, and he kind of talked about it. And the interview was like, here's the scenario. I'm going to give you this package. And, like, tell me what you think. And, like, this. And all of a sudden, Dable was like, told him something wrong about it. And the feedback was like, no, that's not the way I do it. We should do it like this. And it was like, all right, you don't work for us. Like,
Yeah.
it's simple. You bad job interview. Sorry. Average talent. If you were really great and you aced your job interview, you end up in the first round somewhere.
So
Top
now
of the first, maybe the second.
Giants number 3 pick.
Yeah.
Okay. They went with best available. Supposedly it can't miss. Abdul Carter. He's an edge pass rusher. And listen,
LT.
Listen, he's not the next LT, and it pissed me off that he went and he asked LT for his number, because who the hell are you to ask Lawrence Taylor? And good for LT for telling him to take a hike.
Who's even gonna remember LT by the time this guy's career is over?
That's what they said. Know. So they said about Thibodeau, and don't. LT is a different kind of name. Okay, LT is the greatest defensive player of all time.
I'm sorry, Mara and all your guys did it to yourselves with Malik Neighbors last year, and you were like, yeah, no, it only matters for really great Giants, not great Giants. No, you have to be really great.
But do you know the name of the guy who Malik Neighbors' number took?
Your retired number only matters if you're really great. If you're only great, it can be undone.
So should he get 11? I heard he look. He wears number 11.
I'm just glad that we've realized LT's really great, because you have 2 different rings of honor. You have great and really great in the Giants system.
Listen, you ask the player, and listen, once the number's retired, it's not retired until some kid comes around and thinks he's a hot shot and asks you can wear it. No, it's retired.
LT
retired for a reason.
Would be better than Abdul Carter. Like, he'd still compete with him today.
I draft LT today over Abdul Carter.
100%.
And you know what? Listen,
pick, though.
The Giants are going to have a good defense. Giants are going to have a good defense.
Sorry. This is a great pick. And the best part about it is the Giants, I don't know how seriously they ever considered taking Shedeur Sanders or any quarterback at that spot.
I was upset that they didn't take Shedeur Sanders when the pick came through.
That's why. I tell you, and a lot of, and Vegas too. So nobody believed Bob. Everybody was on that side.
I was pissed.
This is a great pick. And the fact that they were able to move back up and get what I guess is their guy. You know, Jackson Dart, I guess, is their whatever way you feel about it. There's a mixture of views on.
Dable's job's on the line.
I guess. But all the people weren't screaming about other quarterbacks. They were just screaming about Sanders. So they would have thought the Giants made a brilliant move if they picked Sanders. That's the funny part is the end of this rainbow, nobody would have seen that coming.
Yeah, but it's only a brilliant move. It's only a brilliant move for a couple weeks, Brett. Because once the season starts, if they suck, they suck. And then it's not a brilliant move. And then you're terrible.
Sanders having a guy like that, just the concept, like you guys wanted him. New Yorkers, we want that. Like that star.
Yeah,
you know,
I wanted him.
That like burning star that like transcends like all of it. You know, that Joe Namath, like Aaron Judge is like pretty close to that. Like we hang on to those superstars in a different way. And
listen,
all you guys thought that it was so far fetched, but he's got
a connect, right? He's got a connection to Eli. Right, he's an Ole Miss quarterback, connection to Eli. So, but now is he? You don't know how he's going to be. And here's what happened. Dable bought himself another year, because what he does is he plays Russell Wilson, right? The Giants, let's say they're no good, they lose. They're 2-6. Then he brings this kid in. As long as this kid is not just a complete disaster, and they don't need to go to the playoffs this year. They're not going to the playoffs, right? He doesn't have to make the playoffs, because he now can suck the first half of the year, pull his quarterback, bring this kid in, and it's going to be like, okay, as long as he's okay, we're going to give you another chance and let's see how this kid pans out, because he's the quarterback whisperer. Meanwhile, I could have been the quarterback whisperer for Josh Allen. He's a Hall of Famer, right? I could have coached Josh Allen into Josh Allen. Right. Come on. You didn't do anything with Josh Allen. I hate that.
A 6'7", 280-pound guy who can throw darts and just run people over. And
I could have coached Josh Allen. I'm not going to
run the option. Broken play, just run people over, Allen.
Yeah. Like, I love that, because he didn't do anything.
You still managed to not make it far in the playoffs.
And then
you didn't even surround him with enough talent.
No,
it makes me sick.
And then they give him credit also. I've heard people for Tommy DeVito. Okay, Tommy DeVito's obviously a high school quarterback type of situation, right?
There's only one guy. Only one guy who gets credit for that. You know that. There's only one guy who gets credit for that, and that's his agent. The agent's the only guy who gets credit for Tommy DeVito's career. It's not his arm. It's not his mother. It's not any of the stuff that a regular Italian kid. It's not his talent. Definitely not his talent.
No, it's not his talent.
It's not the Giants' expertise in turning
No, I think he won a contest. That's how he got the third string. What do you won a contest or something?
I'm not even listen.
But I mean, listen. The Giants they're in the toughest division, right? You got the Super Bowl champions. You got the Washington football team, the Commanders, which are very good.
You got to be worried about. That's let me tell you.
The Cowboys, who are better. The Cowboys are still better than the Giants.
The problem is you have to now leap over one of those two teams. Forget the Cowboys. That doesn't even count. They could be there on
No,
any
I
given
think they're
year.
last place. I think Giants are last place next year, right?
No. I'm just saying in general, forget the Cowboys. Those other two teams, the Eagles and Washington, there's one that's peaking, and there's one that's going to peak over the next 5 years.
Yes.
Your prospects over the next 5 years in that division are so horrific, and God forbid the Cowboys actually play well.
But
because
now,
that means you guys are in trouble. So you need that elite quarterback.
But hear me out on this. Hear me out on this.
Yeah.
The Giants have a top 5 defense in the NFL now.
I like it. Don't forget,
Can Russell Wilson get us 8 wins? Can Russell Wilson get us 8 wins? I mean, that's not a playoff team, but can Russell Wilson go from 3 to 8?
Russell Wilson will launch you directly into 8-win mediocrity.
Yeah, I don't know about that, though. He's not very good
there. As much as that's okay.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. It's the worst place
to be. Not where
to be.
you want to be. Like, you're on the edge of, like, you don't have
15.
the
I drafted 16 next year.
Right, and now if you end up with if this guy ends up being like a serviceable quarterback, that sucks. That's the worst, because then you're in that same scenario of, do I pay this guy? Because no matter what, if he's like on that option, all of a sudden you either put in all this effort for a guy who's about to be good for somebody else, or you're about to take a chance and spend $50 million on a guy who's going to end up being Zach Wilson.
See, I would have fired the coach. I want to fire the coach.
It is tough, man. Like I don't like this unestablished quarterbacks that aren't like outside of Cam Ward. I don't know if you're going to get another good quarterback that came out of this draft. So Shedeur Sanders might be the next option, but I'm telling you, the Giants have got to ride on defense, and Russell Wilson will be good. They need another weapon at receiver. They have nobody else outside of Neighbors right now.
Yeah. We got Slayton.
Yeah, no, but that's just not enough. They picked up the running back, though. You saw that. Your guy who you like. You were talking about it before.
Skattebo from Arizona State. And if you watch the playoff game, where I think they played Ohio State, is that what the one where they ended up, or they won one of the games, the playoff games? Listen, he's undersized. He's a small guy. He is a football player. If there's one football player in this draft, like football player, it's Skattebo. And he's got the name. He's got one of the best names ever, right? Yeah. Cam Skattebo.
Listen, only player with
he's
one
a football
passing
player.
Touchdown. Ready? Only player with one passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and a punt touchdown in 2023. Then he also punted 8 times.
He was the player of the game in that playoff game. He dominated the game, and he willed.
I love players like this. This is a guy who can play anything. He is anything. He's I love these type of guys. Like, this is who you want.
You know who you know where you see someone like him on the Patriots 10 years ago.
100%.
That's where you see somebody like Skattebo on.
No, this is one of their. You add in that you hate him. This is
it's an Edelman. He's an Edelman, bro. He's Edelman.
Edelman, yeah, all of those guys. It's the worst. Like that's no. It's exactly.
And listen. If he's nothing else, he's undersized. He's probably not the best talent. He's a football player, and I saw. We watched him. We all watched. America watched him in that playoff game, and it was unbelievable. And he took the game over. He was punting, fake punts, quarterback, run back. It was unbelievable.
He's an impact player. He's a guy who can make a big spark. He's a guy who, like, you put him in special teams right away, he's just going to make a difference.
You know,
let me tell you, those are the plays that actually get you those extra wins. That'll get you to your mediocrity, Bob. You're going to get your 8 wins with Skattebo.
You know who? The Giants who always had when I was going, they had. And he was always good in the preseason. He'd make plays, and he was tough, and he was this, but you'd never see him. He made the team once or twice. Keith Elias. Do you remember Keith Elias?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I do.
He was like that kind of guy. Like, he was just a football player, but he was never good enough. This guy, I think, might be good enough to make the team.
No, he is.
He's a 4th-round pick. You never know. And then they got an offensive lineman that out of Purdue. I don't know much about him, and they got a tight end out of Nebraska. So we'll see how they do. Listen, the big pick is the defense. The Giants are going to have a top 5 defense if they can
quarterback.
And the Giants don't score any points, right? Giants don't score points.
He was the best guy in the draft.
Yeah, but is that what you want? Like, how many?
You want the best. You got the
can't
best
win if you don't score
available.
points. Giants don't score points.
Now, Jackson Dart will be a question mark until he's no longer a question mark. But you got the best guy in the draft and got your quarterback, presumably the one you actually wanted. Outside of Cam Ward, you tried to trade Cam Ward. You couldn't get him.
Jobs on the line.
Let me tell you, you got the guy, and not only you got the guy you wanted without having to spend your top 10 pick on it. Your number 3 pick. So I'm telling you, you can't protect. You got what you wanted. We don't know if it's going to work out. You got.
You don't know.
They got what they wanted. That's all that matters. If you don't,
you're right. They got what they want.
It's all you can ask for in this draft. They didn't do a bad job.
But I didn't like the first thing he did was ask LT for his number. That's not right. That's not right. You're not LT. Stop pretending. And he came out. He's like, oh, what's the worst that could happen? He says, no, LT's the GOAT. Bro, don't even try it. What are you doing? That's so inappropriate.
He'll come murder you.
Bro, it's so inappropriate. It's so inappropriate.
You obviously have never watched LT tape. If your question is, what's the worst he could do?
LT was at the draft, right? And there was an interview. They asked him, they go, what do you remember about your draft night? And he said, nothing. He goes, I had 41 Coors Lights. And they go, well, were you with family and stuff? He goes, no. He goes, I was with my drinking buddies from college. He goes, I didn't get a phone call. I found out on the TV with everybody else. And they go, what happened when you found out? He goes, I don't remember. I had 41 Coors Lights. And there was a couple bags of blow, and and then there was hookers. And listen, LT's a bad guy, but LT's the greatest defensive player to ever play the game.
True story. Nobody's ever drank 41 Coors Lights without cocaine.
No, you can drink 41 Coors Lights. Coors Lights is like drink, LT. He's not an alcoholic though. But anyway,
41's an arbitrary number. It's an actual 41. Andre the Giant.
You got some. He's like in jail. Like LT's been in jail. Like he's going up to the biggest guy in jail and punching him in the face and going, I'm here. And LT said, LT goes, get lost. Go get another number.
What's the worst that happens? The worst that happens, LT ruined your career before you ever play a snap.
Because the Giants fans, we love LT.
Honestly, even being like, just being like, who do you think you are? If he actually came out and was a total jerk about it, like really, like embarrassed the kid, like I think so. But what they talked a little bit was like, maybe if LT needs some cash,
LT has multiple cocaine arrests. LT has been picked up multiple times for picking up underage prostitutes, and Giants fans don't have a bad thing to say about him. So you can't go above LT. No. You are not going to be you're not LT. You will never be LT.
The only bad thing they'll say about him, they're just mad that he didn't snap Theismann's other leg. Yeah. They are. It's how he's a different breed. You'll never see another guy like him.
No, never.
He will probably be the greatest Giant ever to Giant. That's what I believe.
He's the greatest Giant ever, I think. Absolutely.
Nobody will ever repeat what he did in terms of like the style, and it's just a different animal and a different time that will never occur again in football.
And that annoyed me. But anyway, I hope he does good. Now what? I give the Giants a B+, a B-. I'm gonna give him B- for the draft. Brett, tell us what the Jets did, because I don't even know the guy's name when they got in the first round.
The Jets, listen, the Jets did nothing flashy at all. They were talking about an early tight end. So honestly, the Jets kind of worked their own way. The Jets wanted to go get a premier offensive lineman in the first round. They went and got their guy, Armand Mebabu, whatever you want to pronounce it. I will be able to spend the next 3 years trying to figure it out. He's out of Missouri. Listen, what do you say? Like the kids, he's out of Mizzou. He will then all of a sudden start, and we now have what is a pretty formidable offensive line. He's going to be starting. It looks like day one. You have a bunch of rookies. Last year, Olufashinu, stud right off the bat. 2 years earlier, Elijah Vera Tucker. He has finally become really great last year. You go at our center, we got Joe Tippmann, who's out of nowhere one of the better centers in the entire National Football League, which is he's 2 years into the league. Now it'll be his third year.
Do you trade Breece Hall? Do you get rid of Breece Hall?
No. And then you have John Simpson, who is going to be in his second year, came out of Baltimore, who's a veteran who's actually helped all the guys. You got rid of Tyrone.
The Jets got a running back. Jets drafted a running back.
No.
Undrafted. They undrafted.
We are not getting rid of Breece Hall. Breece Hall is
He's done. He's no, he's going downhill. It's going downhill with Breece Hall. This is the year it's going to go. When it goes downhill.
All it means is you're not. What do you? I got you.
Running backs go downhill fast.
You don't get anything for anybody in the league. So what are you going to take a sixth rounder for Breece Hall? No, you're going to ride it out. What are you going to? He might go off this year. He's coming off of the injury again last year. He's 2 years out. He is his last year. He doesn't have a contract after this. He's probably not going to get picked up. They picked up their options for everybody. But you go past it. The whole point was they didn't take the tight end early because they felt like they could get a good tight end in the second round where they couldn't get a good offensive lineman in the second round. So they got their offensive lineman early. Then they went out and picked up Mason Taylor out of LSU, who was second round pick. And you know who he's the son of, right? Jason Taylor, former Jet, Miami Dolphin, Hall of Famer.
We
Jason Taylor.
spoke to the coach about him.
Yes, we did very much so.
He gave his induction speech, I believe, into Canton when he came on the show. He was telling us about that, how But listen, the Jets. Now I've heard people the Jets are win now still, right? They still win now, right? The 11 wins. I heard Mike Francesa said they can win 11 games.
The Jets are. I'm with you. I'm not saying they can't, but they are rebuild.
I don't think they can.
They are rebuild. This year is can Justin Fields become our quarterback year? That's all this is. Like this whole year is.
I don't think the Jets are looking like that. I think the Jets are like this is a year we can go to the divisional playoffs.
To be winning, but I'm telling you, the Jets are either gonna fall flat on their face with Justin Fields, or they're going to go and win 9 to 10 games, and they will then say we can see this working. And that's it. But I'm talking, it could go flat on their face. I'm talking 3-4 wins if the coaching doesn't go well and the players don't buy in and they may, and that line doesn't come together because they're young and if they're going to run the ball, man. And let me tell you, if you get behind in games, you lose.
I mean, you might as well just run the hell out of Breece Hall, just destroy him, right?
They're going to remind me a lot of the Steelers from last year, where it's like they can get into those type of games, but they can't get the ball downfield.
Yeah, and the Steelers made the playoffs. People they really had no business making the playoffs.
With the exact same quarterback. It really does to me. But then they go out, and then they moved up, and so they needed cornerback help, so they picked up their cornerback, which is kind of a controversial pick because there was a couple other better cornerbacks. Azariah Thomas out of FSU. Good again. He's a big tackler type of guy. Wasn't good at the combine, but great on the field. So he dropped a little bit. Not good at the combine. Went and picked up a wide receiver out of Georgia, Arian Smith. Again, you never know with these guys. There's been some really good. Puka Nacua is really great late pick draft.
Yeah,
picks.
Of course. There's a lot of great draft picks.
You can pick up some real quality guys.
Yeah. You have no idea. Nobody has any idea. Listen, I think the draft is retarded. I think the draft is the stupidest thing. I don't watch the draft. I can care less. I think it's just as dumb as the combine. They've turned it, but it probably outviewed or got better ratings than the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs combined today and yesterday, right? Which is absurd to me. It's the most absurd thing.
I put out a tweet about something crazy. The Mets made a crazy play, and it was amazing. And
nobody cared.
Nobody cared. And I put out, Shedeur Sanders is going to fall to where? Question mark.
Yeah, 30,000
people, 37 seconds.
But, it's amazing the NFL.
I didn't even care. It was kind of just a joke. But
the NFL's just right. They throw anything at any kind of content. People are dying for NFL content, and they love football, which is surprising to me why the XFL and these other leagues don't do any good. Because they all fold and they combine with each other and stuff, and they all go out of business. But the NFL, people are dying for content from the NFL. The draft is the dumbest thing. I mean, you watch it, right? They may make a pick. Guy walks up to the podium, commissioner says the name, the guy comes up, puts a hat on, and then that's it. And then it's 20 minutes until nothing.
No, you know what it is? It's that one tone. It's that one jingle.
ESPN tone.
They got it in our brains since children, Bob. And that's it. The moment that happens, you can't look away. When you hear that, how do you not look to wait? And that's it. They got you.
Yeah.
Did you see Green Bay? It wasn't even nice out. That place, they had so many
people outside that parking lot.
That was crazy. Watching nothing.
Nothing.
No, watching a man tell you another man's about to come up here. And do nothing.
They were in. Did you see the long walk they had to do through the tunnels and through? And then they stop. They stop somewhere. They put the hat on. They take a picture, and then they walk. It's the worst. It's the worst thing.
Bad.
The content itself is just terrible. Our content. This is more entertaining than the actual draft. It boggles the mind how popular the NFL is. Now, I think the one team that it's all or nothing is Jacksonville, right? They went all in on Travis Hunter. Two-way player. I don't know if he's going to be playing two ways in the NFL. I don't know if that's going to be worth it. They big haul. And
you look at Cleveland. Cleveland gets their number one. You
gotta take it if you're
Cleveland. Cleveland gets their number one next year.
And they're probably going to be bad.
Yeah. Which means Cleveland's set up. Now they have two quarterbacks to choose from that are rookies. They honestly, they haven't been that bad. It's really been like, they haven't been in their quarterback situation.
They went to the playoffs 2 years ago. Who, Cleveland? You mean Jacksonville?
Cleveland, Cleveland got the good end of the trade on the stick. Absolutely. Like for them, it's like, if that's not your guy, it's not a good draft. Next year,
he better be Jerry Rice. He better be Jerry Rice, right?
Well,
how do you justify this? How do you justify the pick?
He needs to be Dion. No, he needs to be Dion, not Jerry Rice. He needs to be Dion.
He needs to be Dion.
He's not Dion. And that's who he's modeled after. His whole life is being Dion. And if he honestly, he made Shedeur Sanders, and not like him being such an elite talent drew everybody to caring. It wasn't Shedeur Sanders.
And it's not like Cleveland went back to 15. They went back to like 6.
No, and Shedeur Sanders surprised people by how well he played in college. Everybody thought it was just like, being smoked from Dion. And then all of a sudden, and the reason he played so well, he had Travis Hunter picking the ball off on defense, then catching it on offense more than anybody in the entire nation.
Yeah, and Cleveland,
you're going to get a couple good years out of Travis Hunter, and eventually he will just be I don't even know, probably a receiver because he's going to want the money. Because let me tell you, the difference is he's going to get either $8 million.
Corners get big money though. Corners get big money
like that. You're
like
right.
if he's Revis gets big money, right? Revis got big money. That's what he has to be. But that's what he better be. He better be Revis because Revis is Dion.
They don't do receiver money. They don't. The top paid cornerback doesn't make what the average receiver makes. That's the way, so it's.
I mean,
so
but you're two-way. He's going to go with the two. But he's not going to be two-way for 5 or 7 years.
We're going to see how they're going to use him to death early, I think.
But great move for Cleveland because you know what? It's not like you went back to 15 or 20. You went back to like 6. So you only went back like 4 spots.
You were able to pick up 2 freaking quarterbacks.
A huge haul, a big haul. And Jacksonville, Jacksonville does this though, and they never get it right. I'm not saying he's not going to be a good player, but he better be an all-time player with what they gave up, right? He's got to be an all-time player. It took him number 2. And you moved up to get him. And you moved up to get
guys, think about it, Bob. One hand. You can't even name this many that have ever shown up that can do what he does. That's in the whole of NFL. Name me 5 guys who ever showed up who played both.
Bo Jackson.
Okay.
Dion.
Yeah, I don't think that exists other than that. So let me tell you.
Yeah, but he's not Bo Jackson.
This is a once-in-a-generation talent that just showed up that is able to do it at the top of the level on both sides and have the stamina to pull it off. It lasts for a couple of years until something goes, but let me tell you, this is something different, and you get what you paid for with this. This is the guy who's going to be known really well. Like, I'm talking like nationally. You're going to actually like.
I think he's going to be a good player.
Else. He's got the attitude that Shedeur Sanders wishes he had. In the interview, and when you see him, he is just like, he put the helmet on today, and everybody went nuts. It was like, he looked like a kid with it. It was like it was awesome. Like they just loved it. It was like, just watch. He's going to be a big deal.
Oh, I'm not. I don't doubt that. But you got to be an all timer. You better be gold jacket. That's what gold jacket. By that.
No, but I mean, you're going to see him like around. Like he's going to be closer to Bo or Dion than I think you realize. I think it's going to be like that.
That's tough to say. I mean, they both played in the World Series and stuff too.
They were really good. Let me tell you that. They were really good, but they weren't.
No, Bo Jackson was doing crazy stuff. We had Perlman on.
They weren't great for very long, and Dion is because he went to the right teams. And
Dion was great for a while. Yeah, Dion was good for a while. He was a great quarterback. He's the all-time. Is he better than Revis?
For such a short amount of time.
But Bo was great at everything. Bo was just an athlete.
Oh, no.
Dion was the best cornerback. Dion was better than Revis. He's the best corner ever, right? Dion? This guy's not getting. They better be putting the gold jacket on him in 15 years. That's what I'm saying to justify it. So that's the NFL draft. What's your grade for the Jets?
Oh, you can't do anything.
C plus,
baby.
All right, C plus. Jets are getting C's. Still getting C's.
I don't dislike it. Like, let me tell you,
they didn't do anything major. They didn't do anything major. They didn't screw it up.
They have an offensive line that can last the next 5-6 years and be really good, and that is going to be a big deal. So. Listen,
it's going to depend on how your quarterback is. How's your quarterback? That's what's going to matter, right? And the Giants don't have one.
Well, you have four first-round top linemen that are all in their first 4 years. That is a nice thing to have if you're good. 4 studs at little numbers. Jets have a lot more work. I don't know about this 11 wins. I don't believe any of that. And Giants, they're going to have a stretch getting to 8, and that's not a fun place to be. So you almost want them to
that's
blow
right.
it a little bit.
Well, we'll revisit this in September but hopefully late October, November, right after the Mets are done winning their World Series. And that's our NFL draft. For Brett Grasso, I'm Bob Walters. Well, listen, I'm not big on the draft. I didn't even want to do this show, Brett. I didn't even want to do it. I didn't even want to talk about it. But we have to because we're New York sports, and that's what we do around here. So for Brett Grasso, I'm Bob Walters from the Brian Gunzel Studios. Don't forget, rate, review, and subscribe. You can get us anywhere you get your podcasts. LockedUpSports.net, YouTube, anywhere. My name's Bob Walters. He's Brett Grasso from the Brian Gunzel Studios. See ya.